They call me try hard. Our generation has had it hard. Hurry, chase him. Thanks to those that came before us, I'm spread too thin. They call me try hard. Our generation has had it hard. Hurry, chase him. My teachers were born with it all. Joseon Korea was a Neo-Confucian society defined by inherited social class and limited opportunities for upward mobility. Similar issues are evident in contemporary South Korea. Young Koreans complain that they inhabit Taehan Mangu, a hell Joseon, where Korea's 19th century divisions resonate today. How has the evolution of South Korean society led to this comparison? Are restrictions on social mobility purely a Korean problem? We should consider the argument that modern Korea is an inevitable legacy of Confucian Joseon. Utilising Don Baker's description of a system where humans were born virtuous, but where education was necessary for people to maintain their original good nature, and the social hierarchy defined by both mutual responsibilities and differences in status, we can see that Neo-Confucianism is influential in Korea today. An emphasis on learning, a perception of meritocracy. The university entrance exam, the Sunung, is evocative of the Joseon civil service exam, creating the idea of a modern Yangban intellectual elite, attending the best universities and, in theory, securing top jobs. But it is too simplistic to say that the legacy of Neo-Confucianism explains why Korean society is so divided today. Surveys show a decline in Confucian beliefs. The political and economic systems in Korea no longer reflect traditional Confucian structures. We can argue that there are other factors which have proved more influential in Korea's trajectory towards polarisation. During the developmental state period, Korea's economy rapidly advanced at the expense of organised labour and individual welfare. Chaebol were given state support, forming a basis for family-focused, concentrated wealth creation. However, the polarisation of Korean society was exacerbated after IMF-imposed neoliberal economic reforms following the 1997 Asian financial crisis, which emphasised a free market economy and deregulation. Older workers were forced into early retirement and in turn into insecure work. A divide between regular and irregular workers created the concept of a labour aristocracy. This was further exploited by Chaebol-supported unionisation, which did not protect the rights of irregular workers. From this, we can reasonably suggest that a polarised social order and new class system emerged in Korea, characterised by insecurity. This is supported by recent OECD statistics. Figure 1 shows that Korea has amongst the highest ratios of incidences of low pay, and a large differential between high and low wages exists. Figure 2 shows increased wage inequality between 1990 and 2016. These are credible given the number of countries surveyed as comparators. The Korean trope of noryok, effort, as a solution for mobility and security ceases to hold weight. Further evidence of polarisation in Korea is provided by the application of spoon theory, a framework which suggests that social status and success is based on inherited wealth. Instances of nepotism and purchased favours are commonplace in Korea. Spoon theory also represents wealth inequality. A causal link can be drawn between the restriction on wealth creation, the characterisation of people as spoons, and perpetuation of a polarised society. Using education as an example, in Korea, to maximise a student's chances, many parents pay for private education. This is inaccessible for the insecure class or inferior spoons. A cycle of inability to mobilise out of your inherited position is created. If you do manage to mobilise, the system is constructed for the benefit of the gold spoons. Intelligence is not enough. You do not have the means to buy additional opportunities, benefit from connections, live a privileged existence. Your dirt spoon is only ever gold-plated. The hell Joseon metaphor and restrictive society that this evokes is clear. This is not a Korean phenomenon. Social polarisation is paralleled globally. It is fair to attribute this to neoliberalism. In the UK, the advent of neoliberalism from the 1980s onwards led to the marketisation of society and resultant division. The elitist Scotland study illustrates that this is a wider issue. Figures 4 and 5 show that the Scottish elite is still underrepresentative of the general population in terms of private schooling and admission to ancient universities. From this, we can reasonably infer a degree of inherited wealth, affording better opportunities. Recent studies examine the experiences of agency and zero-hours workers, with precarious working conditions reflecting the UK's own insecure class. Hell Joseon. Hell Scotland. Perhaps hell neoliberalism is more apt. Breaking free from the cycle of social immobility is challenging. But we cannot underestimate the power of the citizen, as was shown by the Park Geun-hye scandal. It is no different for Moon Jae-in, judging by the resignation of Cho Kuk following controversy over connections and public protest. Korea's tradition of social activism for change may help to reverse, or at least dilute, the divisions arising from the neoliberal trend. Change the rules. Change. The ones that came before us want to maintain. But we can't do that. This isn't normal.